Alright, this video, I'm going to warn everybody that there's going to be a lot of people that will not like this video. This is going to offend a lot of people, the things that I have to say. This is C-Dye Bang here, this is Sifu Freddie Lee. I'm going to be honest and real with what I see and what I see that is corrupted in the martial arts and the problems that I see. One main thing is like, I don't want to talk overly bad about certain people, but I'm just going to use examples. People that are really overweight, fat, obese, and I'll just say weak, because there's two spectrums. If you're overweight, you're at one spectrum, that's not healthy. If you're too skinny and you don't have any muscle development, that's not healthy either. Now, what I see is that people who are not fit, they should not be martial art teachers. They should not be teaching. They should not be opening up their own school. They should not be teaching online. They are not qualified to teach. And these martial art techniques should not be mass exploited for the world to know. Only certain individuals that are right mentally and emotionally and spiritually should be learning these techniques. And training people online in general is not a responsible way to do it if you don't do it privately. If you just make a random video showing somebody how to choke somebody to death and you're not even putting any work into, any effort into seeing who you're actually teaching, that I see a huge problem with. Now, when I go back to talking about these overweight martial art so-called masters, the way that I view it is like this. Personal training is the foundation. It's just the ABCs of the martial arts. Now, if you look to hire a personal trainer, and the personal trainer is extremely fat and obese, you're not going to want to learn from him. Because you just look at him and be like, how are you going to give me personal training? You know, you're not even healthy yourself. It's just a visual, automatically determination that this person's not qualified. And many people have approached me and told me about this, that I'm not learning from that personal trainer because he's just overweight and he's just out of shape. Now, I'm not just going to talk about people that are overweight. There's skinny and weak people out there too that aren't in shape either. So it goes for both sides. And a personal trainer clearly is not qualified if he is not in shape himself. Now, a martial arts teacher, that individual is supposed to be beyond the personal trainer. Not only does he have to be fit, but he has to possess the understanding of the science behind combat, and he has to possess wisdom, like the life experience, and he has to live the life experience to represent like the true way in the martial arts. So that is a lot to fulfill. Like, how do you know if somebody is actually as wise as Jesus? You know, that's something, that's something that you cannot just visually see. You have to really experience the individual in order to determine whether or not that individual is wise. So you got to have a person that's wise, you got to have a person that's extremely fit, and you have to have an individual who possesses the knowledge and understanding of the combative techniques of the martial arts. So those three components have to be fulfilled. Now, when you see somebody who is not fit, who is weak, who is overweight, he clearly is not even fulfilling one of the most important components of the martial arts. And then he's trying to claim himself as a teacher, and then he's teaching a bunch of people how to fight when he's not even developed himself. Who is that?
Derek, disciple.
Oh, okay. So, are you waiting for Derek? They're gonna do it up there. Okay. Okay. So that's what I'm getting, boiling it down to, is that there's a lot of unqualified so-called martial art teachers out there that they should not be teaching. And what they do is, say you're fat, you're overweight. There's no way you're going to make money teaching people fitness because nobody's going to accept you as a fitness trainer. So what do? You claim yourself as a martial arts master, and you claim a bunch of other overweight people to become so-called martial art masters as well. And it's just a chain reaction a bunch of people that are not representing the martial arts the way it should be, and then claim, teaching a bunch of other people that are not that are not going to represent it the way it should be either. So it starts off with the fitness, and that's one of the main indicators to see whether or not, somebody, you can just visually see whether or not the person is representing that aspect alone. But then once again, it's not just the fitness, because I'm talking about the cage fighters too. They might have the fitness, they might even have the combat, but they lack the spiritual. So it's the combat, the fitness, and the spiritual that needs to be fulfilled in order for an individual to be a qualified martial arts teacher. And there's a bunch of unqualified people out there, and they might possess knowledge on how to hurt people. And the problem is that they're training a bunch of people irresponsibly, and that creates even more violence in this world, because now a bunch of people are learning all these techniques, and nobody's being responsible. So that's my feedback.
Okay, basically, you could ask yourself this question. How did you find the right instructor? How did you find the right school? One advice I could give you, you go to the school, check their training, and definitely check the instructor out. I'm going to be straight and direct. No offense to nobody out there. I don't care how many degrees, belts you got, how many recognition you got. If you fat and overweight, get the hell out of the school. Don't go to that school. Because my thing is this. Even if you want to go back and look at Bruce Lee's movie, and look at, let's look at Bruce Lee, for example. He always was focusing in the physical aspect, his sit-ups, his abs, his muscle, his legs, his technique, all revolve beyond being fit. If you're not fit, I'm just talking for all teachers out there, if you're not fit, how can you be a good example for your students when you yourself can't even touch your toe? You imagine you being an instructor and you can't even do not one sit-up, or 5 pull-ups, or string up, whatever you're going to do, and you can't do it, but then you're an instructor, have all these belts. That was my drive and determination. When I was looking for school, I was shopping around for I went to a lot of different schools. And one of my turn-off was, how can this person be an instructor and teach me philosophia, living healthy, and not hurting other people, when all he's doing is teaching how to hurt people, how to basically kill people or go in a cage match, and he's fat. That's just the turn off for me, because you shouldn't go to school with those, you see a instructor like that. That's what got me here at Sifu Freddie Lee. What attracted me about him, it was the mystical stuff. And all the incredible stuff that he do, his philosophia, his way of thinking, the way of teaching, and the physical, all this incredible stuff he could do. Just like Bruce Lee used to do. One hand push up, 2 fingers, 1 finger. That's what Bruce Lee was all about. That's what fitness should be all about. That's what all teachers should be all about. You cannot go to a school, have a school, and you fat and you're overweight. So basically, you just telling me it's okay to be fat and overweight so long as you got a belt. And then there's another thing we got to think about. A lot of these so-called masters, black belts, or whatever they are, they gained the belt when they was in good shape. They shouldn't be black belt. They should give up that belt if they're not fit. It's one thing to get it when you're fit, but then it's the same token, you got to maintain it. Just like a shoe, a brand new shoe. When it first got it, the shoe right, it's brand new, it's clean, it smells good, it's shiny, it's in good shape, it's not worn out. But over times, it's going to get dirty. So what you're supposed to do, if it's all in the personality, you're going to keep the shoe clean, right? The same way I look at martial artists, the so-called super expert. If you got a black belt, just because you get it when you was in fit, doesn't mean to say you don't have to continue being fit. You have to stay fit because you are representing your school. You're representing your school or the dome, wherever you are, and you're representing your students. If you're fat and you can't do none of this, can't even touch your toes, how are you going to call yourself a black belt? You can't even stretch. You can't even do nothing like that. And you so-called black belt with all these degrees, this ain't gonna, and you go say to yourself, well, in the competition, I don't need to be fit. I just need to provide the technique. Well, yeah. Well, what happened now that if you're overweight and you're out of shape, then we're getting into serious personal issues. Like, for example, if you're overweight, you're gonna get into being diabetic, or high cholesterol. Then you can't perform. Then you can't teach no more, or then you can't even go and compete. So it all comes down to be fitness. So that's what we're talking about. We're not attacking nobody. We're just telling it like it is. Raw, basically, I say, we're coming at you raw. Not to offend nobody, but it is what it is. If you're a martial artist, if you're a so-called super degree in whatever technique you do, strongly advise you to be fit. And if you're a student looking for a teacher, my advice to you, check his personality as far as philosophia and his fitness. If he's fatter than you, run out of there. Get out of there in the quickness. Because all you're going to do is take your money. You're going to tell you you're doing good. You're going to give you a certificate saying that, oh, you're doing good. Here's your certificate. Keep promoting you, feel good. But then in reality, it's really fooling yourself, because you could just look at him. Use one of your 5 senses that God gave us. And I'm not going to preach, but one of the senses that God gave us was the sense of vision. Look for yourself. Don't go by what people tell you. Look for yourself and see what's going on. And if you see this person is fat, or even test them. If you can't even, sir, teach me how to do push-up. Can you do 10 push-up for me? And he can't even do 3? What's that telling you? What's that telling you? It's telling you it's not fit to train you. And I know nobody is perfect, because nobody is perfect. God was the only person who was perfect, but you want something close to perfection when it's coming to martial arts. And decided to say this, there's not really too many good martial artists out there no more. Everybody just want to just learn all this technique to hurt people. They're trying to make a quick buck. They want to just go into the cage matches and fight and make a lot of money. Well, then what happened when you hurt yourself? Then what happened when you can't fight no more? Then what you going to do? So see, that's why martial arts is supposed to be the discipline. It's a way of life, the way of thinking, the way of carrying yourself. It's a life thing. You just can't learn it in a year or 2 or 3 and think you're good and then that's it. No, this is a life. This is for life. Even though if you're not in school no more, you still got to take the teaching with you. You still got to live it. You still got to apply it to your daily life. Because when you become a martial artist, there's a lot of discipline to show you how to think, not to hurt people. Basically, it's a reverse thing. You come in here as a bully, and you walk out a better person. If you got the right teacher. If you got the right teacher teaching the good philosophy and teaching you not to hurt people. That's, to me, the essence that a lot of martial arts schools are missing. It's very hard to find a good school with a good teacher that believe in the real deal, old-fashioned way of martial artists, the meditation, the spiritual, the spirit, the technique, and the foundation to be a good person. Because a lot of people walking into school, if you walk in overweight and you're going to school and the teacher is overweight and you're not teaching you the philosophy, none of that good stuff, you're just becoming a worse person when you walk in it. So that's just something you got to consider, and that's my advice to the world. If you're looking for a school and you're looking for the right teacher, educate yourself. Go on the internet, read books. There's a bunch of books you can read, learn the best you can, and look for the right teacher by seeing basically watch to see how you carry yourself, watch to see how you fit. And a lot of time too, they could be fit too. Or they're jerks too at the same time. They teach you, they don't have no remorse for other people. They're going to teach you how to hurt people. That's what you do, this is what you do when you get them and you kill them, blah, blah, blah. No. The real martial artist really supposed to better the other person, teach them how not to kill people, teach them not to hurt people. Yes, you want to learn how to defend yourself. If it come down to it, somebody trying to hurt you, take your life, yes, you want to know what to do. But that's another thing you got to look after. Watching somebody teaching you to. Don't go because sometimes this could be a double effect. The person could be in good shape as far as the teacher, but the philosophy is corrupted. So it's a lot to look. Look at the philosophy, how he thinks about martial art, see if he's fit, and how he carries himself inside, outside the cool, because that's another thing too. All that is a trick effect in finding the right teacher. So that's my advice to you in the internet, in the world, how to find the right teacher. Remember, it's philosophia. I always think of this religion. I always think about the spirit. I always think of how he treats his body. Because if your mind is not right, your body is not going to be right. It's just like the neck. When you grab somebody by the neck in any position, the body will follow. So if you got the right philosophy, like Freddie right here, and I'm telling you like it is, I am very honored and pleased to have him as a teacher, because it's philosophia, the way he carries himself, the mystical stuff he do is fit. It's a motivation to me at my age to stay fit. If he was not fit, and if he was a jerk, I won't be here. That's the reason why I'm telling you guys to be serious when you find the right school and find the right teacher. That's my philosophy on that.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many factors involved with finding, you know, a good martial arts teacher. But the fact of the matter is, this world is so corrupted that there's going to be fewer and fewer real martial art teachers out there. You'll be, you'll be lucky to find one even in existence. You know, right now, there's just too much corruption. If you just look at just the corruption of the body, look at how many people smoke, look at how many people drink alcohol, look at how obese the people are. I'm not even talking about martial art teachers, I'm talking about in general. If you look at the population in Chicago, New York, you look at the epidemic of obesity and how people's health complications with diabetes and everything. So if you got 1 million people in a population and then 900,000 of them are physically weak and physically unfit, then what are your chances of actually finding a fit martial arts teacher that lives a healthy way? And I'm just talking about the physical.
Mentally too.
Yeah, that's just the physical. When you talk about the mental, the science behind combat, you know, that's, you're talking about, you know, things that can be lethal.
Yeah.
You know, like say somebody out there, how many people actually know how to make a bomb that could kill like hundreds of people? That's some knowledge that you don't want to just give to anybody. You know, so when you possess the ability and the knowledge of how to hurt people, like very, you know, efficiently, how many people actually know that? You know, the spiritual, like how many people truly are good people? I mean, that's one of the hardest things to even determine about anybody, because you really got to get to know the individual. So there's just so much factors involved with finding the right martial arts teacher. And the fact of the matter is, for the most part, most martial art teachers, they won't even claim themselves to be a martial art teacher. They won't even let you know. It's just something that they hold within themselves, and they may only share with selected individuals, like the knowledge that they have or what they have to teach. So all I'm saying is that there's an epidemic of people. I'm not just pointing out overweight fat people, but I'm talking about people that are weak too. You could be very skinny and close to death and you can't do anything. You can't run down the block. You can't do any calisthenics. You can't lift any weights. You can't even hurt a fly because you're so weak. But then you want to be a martial arts teacher. To me, it doesn't work that way. You know, a martial arts teacher is supposed to represent like optimum health and fitness and wellness. Not somebody injected with steroids. That's another thing. You know, you can have somebody who's just all like fake, injected with a bunch of like steroids or whatever performance enhancing drugs, and just, he didn't work hard. He just injected himself with a bunch of stuff, and then now he's claiming himself to be a master or whatever. You know, he's a master of like drug use basically, and he's gonna teach you the same thing. You know, so hard work, somebody that truly works hard, how do you know if somebody truly worked hard? Somebody could be driving a really nice car that's worth $100,000, but did he work hard for that $100,000, or did he rob a bank, or did somebody just give it to him? and it's not even hard work. You know, so when you talking about a martial arts teacher, you're looking at hard work. This person, does he work hard? Is he going to teach me to work hard? Or is he injected with steroids? Does he steal money and then buy nice things with that stolen money? Does he, you know what I'm saying? Does he just, like, look for the easy route, the easy out? You know what I mean? The martial arts journey is a lifelong journey, and no matter what teacher you find, they're not going to be perfect. But as we were saying, the teacher should be aiming towards, you know, getting to perfection. And if from the outside looking in, if he's already not fit, that already shows that he's far from perfection. Because if you can't even get the outside down, how do you know he even has the inside down?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I know there's a lot of people out there that claim meditation, and then they claim themselves to be gurus and all this other stuff, and then they just sit there and they act like they're all peaceful, but inside they're full of anger and hatred and violence. I mean, it's just a lot of corruption out there and across all boards. Not just martial arts teachers, but religious leaders, people that you find in the church or whatever. I mean, just everywhere. Everywhere there's corruption. And to find something real, it's not easy. It's just not easy. So, I'm just pointing out that I feel upset that there's people out there that are clearly not qualified to teach the martial arts that are teaching the martial arts. And not only that, they're teaching it irresponsibly. Because they know this knowledge, oh, you know, I'm just going to put all these videos on YouTube to show a bunch of people how to hurt themselves. Because that's the only value I have. Because I'm not fit, nobody wants to learn fitness from me. And because I have no other value, then I'll do this. And then the people that are too cheap to pay for martial arts, the real martial arts teachings, then they just run to these instructors and learn what they want to learn and just be irresponsible with it. So it's just a trickling effect. You know, is that people that are not being irresponsible, and they're not, you know, the more people that you teach, the more potential that you're teaching more people to be irresponsible. It's just a fact. I mean, it's common sense. You teach 100 people, now you have 100 people that potentially can be irresponsible with what you taught them. You teach 1 million people, now you have 1 million people that could potentially be irresponsible with what you taught them. And that's the thing about martial arts. It's not like we're teaching people to play the piano. It's not like you're teaching people to play a musical instrument or to play basketball. You're teaching people how to hurt somebody. And if you're going to teach somebody how to hurt somebody, you better know who you're teaching. That's what pretty much I'm saying. Know who you're teaching. So it boils down to the responsibility of the teacher. And then also, you know, the students, I guess, I think it was Jackie Chan who made the statement in one of the movies. He said, there's no such thing as a bad student. There's only bad teachers. That's what Jackie Chan said, I think, in The Karate Kid. Well, in a sense, it could be true, because the students are following the teacher. If you got a bunch of fat, obese teachers, then you create fat and obese students. If you got a steroid injected teacher, now he's teaching the students to be steroid injected. You know what I'm saying? So it just goes both ways. You know, and it's not easy to be a teacher. That's why sometimes the qualified teachers don't want to teach. Because, you know, they don't even want to take the responsibility. It's just too much to handle. That's why you got people maybe like Jet Li and Tony Jaa and maybe Jackie Chan and whatnot. They might not even want to teach. They just want to act. They just want to make movies. Because teaching requires a lot of responsibility. And
a lot of patience, too.
Yeah, a lot of patience. And sometimes you might not be up for that. This is a lot to handle. Because now, if your student messes up, now you get blamed for it. And that's a lot to handle. It's not easy to be a teacher. So sometimes you'll find a martial arts teacher that is qualified to teach, but he just doesn't want to teach. And sometimes I feel like that too. And sometimes I feel like, you know what? I wish I can make money just off of fitness and that's it. But when you connect with people, when I connect with people like him and other Todais that you really get a close connection with, then you see the value behind teaching. And then you love teaching. But it's something that's very delicate. You gotta really find the right. Not just about you find the right teacher. The teacher has to find the right student.
Right.
It goes both ways. Don't think, oh, you know, you're evaluating the teacher, critiquing him. The teacher's critiquing you too.
Right.
Do you deserve to be taught? You know, it goes both ways. Right. You know, so but once you find the right connection, it's a beautiful thing, and that's why I love to teach, because it's like it's like you're building a family, but, there's the dynamics involved. I don't want to, talk all this trash about overweight people. I'm going to clump them all together. People that are not fit, representing fitness, they have no business being masters of the martial arts. Now, if you're not fit, you're overweight, or you're too skinny, you're not strong, then yeah, you should be in the martial arts because you want to become strong, you want to become fit. I'm talking about martial art so-called masters and black belts that are not fit. They have no place in the martial arts. No place. They should not be teaching. They should be training themselves. They should be looking for another martial arts teacher to teach them the right way. That's pretty much what it boils down to. That's it. Anything else?
That's it.